Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy, and I'm coming at you today with Inkvent Day 3. I'm so excited. Here we go. Ready to open this up. And what do we have? Carousel. This looks red. Red. And it is a pigment ink. Red pigment. Ooh. That's going to be interesting. I love my pigment ink. My Diamine Forever pigments have been some of my favorites. Now I'm wondering, though, how different this one is going to be from the red that we already have in the collection, which is, I think, was it Cherry? I can't remember the name. But I said in my last video, I want to show you how hard these are to get open. It's like a pain. I really struggle with these. Like, they don't want to pull off in one, so it's like I have to pull and it takes so long. That's my one gripe. Where is the easy pull tab of these inks? Because it's so hard. But I wasn't okay, so that one wasn't too bad. Yesterday's was just hard. But I am also thinking that the more you do it, the better it is. Okay, so it's fun to see pigment ink in a container. Look at that, how just absolutely pigmented that is. I'm a little nervous. I haven't used pigment ink in my Kakimori Copper Nib yet, so we'll see how this goes. But that is a really bright red carousel. I like the name of it. Okay. That is just in your face cherry red. That honestly looks to be about the exact same as the other one. But I will say I'm not going to be doing in these videos, and I can't remember which video I said it in, but I'm not going to be doing ink comparisons. I'll do ink comparisons at the end of the month, but right now I just want to focus on this is the ink that I get for today. Okay. All right. So it is more muted red than the bright other one. Is that Cherry Blaze? I can't remember the name of it, but that is definitely a different red, which is nice because I didn't want to have the same red from Diamine again. So I'm gonna do this because I don't want to pull so I pulled my brass nib out a little bit so I can get in there and get that dipped. Perfect. Awesome. And this one is called Carousel. The biggest reason I wanted this advent calendar was for more pigment inks. I love my pigment inks. The Diamine Forever are so good. And once that dries, that's not moving. Once that dries, it is not going to move at all. And if you can see, no bleed through. I think it would be nice to add a little bit more here of that, because I don't think I put enough on there. But it's also one that just doesn't move very much because they're nano pigments. I love that. So we'll come down here. Today, my character is getting ready for a delivery for a Christmas giveaway. So while she has to be sad about her mom, she's gonna also, spread some love from her bakery. She is a baker. And so I wanted to draw her with her bag of bread. It's kind of fun coming up with characters for this. I have great ideas for next year, so stay tuned. I don't know if continuity had a little whiff of hair on the last one, but that's okay. Just know it's the same character. Maybe did she have... No, she didn't. Okay. And she can evolve. Mandy, she can evolve. It's okay. I promise you it will be okay. Red pigment. This is like an interesting option to do a pigment. I was hoping, really hope that they come out with a brown pigment. That was what my hope was. So maybe there's one. A brown or a nice gray. But this red, this is Christmas red. This is That's what this makes me think of. This is even more so Christmas red than the original red we got. So day 3 coming out strong with the bright pigment red. I'm so excited for pigment. I love it. I know I've said it already, but just excited. I love my pigment ink so much. Smoky Mauve has a permanent home in one of my pens. I feel like at least one of them. If not, it's not going to be the same pen. Maybe. I say that now, but I've had one in there I've had my Sailor inked up with Smoky Mauve for a little while now. Ooh, yeah, this is nice. This is a nice red. Now, though, I have to decide what I'm going to ink this one up with to do my writing. Because the thing about pigment is I only have so many pens that I put pigment ink in. And I should have thought about that because I knew that Diamine was going to put a couple pigments in here. And what I'm very excited about is that if I like this one, they will release it next year. So it's not like I have to vote on this, like Colorvent. That's my only thing with Colorvent is you get bigger bottles, yes, but then they are only going to release 3 of the colors. So of course, they didn't release the ones that I was interested in last year. So biggest reason I got the Colorvent this year. I love it. Oh, I love it. It has to be in a pen. It does. That's like, okay, hang on. I got to do one little piece here. Because if you have this red, how can you not have a candy cane right next to you? Right? I don't know why. Well, I mean, I was like, I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place because I didn't know that I was having a red ink from the calendar when I drew this. I'm going to have to dip a little bit more. But how much you get out of a dip is crazy. And these Kakimori nibs. I should pull out my brass one and see how it works now that I kind of know how to work them a little bit more. But this copper nib just works so much better than my brass one ever did. I love it so much. And I love the color of it. Yeah, how could you not have that? Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Okay, I do really like this. I really like this. Maybe I'll just do my writing sample with this because it is a pigment ink. I kind of feel like with pigment ink, you don't need the properties as much. So yeah, I think I am going to just stick with my nib, my brass or my Kakimori nib for this and call it good because I don't want to put it in a pen yet until I know what pen I want because I only have like 3 pens that are dedicated to pigments and I want to make sure that I'm using those. So my thought process for you, I will be back. Okay, let's get some close-ups of Carousel. So as I feared, though, I just want to say it was a little bit tough to get off of my copper nib. I did get it off my copper nib, but I had to clean it. I pulled out my toothbrush that I have just for the cleaning, and I did clean that red off there. And so I was a little worried, but since the copper kind of has a little bit of red tone, I thought it was in there, but then I pulled it up and looked real close, and it's just the copper. But just keep in mind, I don't know if I'm going to use, because I love this copper nib so much, I don't know if I'm going to use this one for my pigment eggs going forward. If I get any more, I don't know how many the Inkvent has, but I have never used this particular nib with pigment before. And so I just, that's a new thing that I definitely, it can come off, but I treat my copper nib like a baby. So that's that. Now, this ink does have a bit of a sheen. And as you can see, I did run out of my dip that I had done. So it uses ink. It's you could get a lot of ink, but I ran out about right here and I had to do a quick dip for the last part. And I just did a tiny dip on the tip. But it it has a bit of that sheen, but it's more of a matte finish, and you can't see any of the sheen unless it's in the thick. So you can see the sheen here. It does take a little while to dry. It is still drying where it's there, but that is pretty indicative of this pigment ink. I really like this color. So the original red that we got for the first lineup of the Diamine Forever is very bright, almost like neon red. And this one is just a lovely red. So I'm very excited. I think of the 3 so far that we've had, oh, this is tough. I know it's not energy. Energy is probably number 3. Energy is probably number 3. I don't hate it, but it's like, I'm not big into sheens. And so I don't know. I like sheens, but they're not ones I reach for. And quite honestly, this might be one I gift to my friend who really loves sheen inks. She loves to put them in her Tom Studios. So we'll see. I just don't know if I see myself using that one as much. But I do love Celestial Skies. I really do. But of the one's usability, I will probably use Carousel quite a bit. And I know that I can mix it, which is really fun because I think that's going to be really nice. But I do like that. That red is just, it's lovely. It is a lovely red, especially for a pigment ink, because I can take a brush and I'll show you that it does not move. Like, does not move. Look at that. The color is the water. That the water is a little bit colored, but yeah, that's Diamine Forever inks are the only ones of the pigment inks that I have found that don't move at all. I have had some issues with clogging with black, the Raven, and that's it. So I hands down in love with pigment inks. So I think that is a little bit of my own bias because I was so excited to get some more pigment ink. And so yeah, this one will definitely get used, and I want to figure out what pen I want to put it in, but I really want to make sure that I am switching one of my current only pigment pens because I do have just a few that I have dedicated forever to pigment. So there's that. That is day 3. Let me know down in the comments. Are you a big pigment person? Is this one you're kind of meh about? Especially because red is one of those like, oh, colors. But this is a really lovely red. I also don't have that same appeal. Red does not appeal to me in the same way. Like red, especially at Christmas time, makes me just happy and bright and fuzzy. But I don't have the, oh, you got this wrong correction feel. I don't know why I don't feel like that, but I feel like I'm lucky for that. So let me know. Let me know so far. Are you digging the colors? Oh, my dog just sneezed, sorry. But are you digging the colors? Are you well, I don't know. Let me know. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.